Good day to all Inderes TV listeners and viewers. Enento publishes Q4 results today, and on this video we have Jeanette Jäger as guest. Welcome, Jeanette.
Thank you very much.
So Q4 was obviously quite difficult for Enento, but could you give a brief summary of Q4 and the whole year 2023?
Yes. Q4, as you started with, we had definitely a challenging Q4, and that was mainly due to how the macro has affected the Swedish business of Enento. If we then move forward, because I suppose we will come back to this later on, if you look at the highlights of the year of 2023, I would say that we have quite a few highlights also at the same time. We have had quite a good level of new services and the revenue based on new services, as we know that we have actually accelerated quite a lot from 22 comparisons to 23. And we can also see that we have good NPS scores on our customers, so we have satisfied customers. Always important to keep customers and to also to grow in better times. As we have said earlier, we don't see that we have lost customers due to that customers have moved on to other suppliers, but it is more connected to volumes and macro. I also think that we have done a very good job when it comes also keeping up efficiency and profitability margin despite the macro changes that we had during the year. And that is not only connected to efficiencies in euro as such, because it's also efficiencies or changes in how we work, which forward can bring us faster go-to-market abilities.
In Q4 as well as in Q3, we saw quite a sharp decline in revenues in Sweden, but the Finnish business remained more stable. So could you open up this difference?
The difference is connected to that. We should understand that in Finland, we have many more industries. We have our revenues and our services connected to several industries in a wider range than we have in Sweden. In Sweden, on our large account, we are still very much connected to the financial sector, even though we are doing well in actually, for example, right now, we're doing good and we're doing growth in the e-commerce sector. And then coming back to, so what happened? When we see that in Sweden, the financial sector are being also affected by the macro circumstances to the extent that they are today. Swedes do have high debts to start with and have high debts in comparison with the neighbors. And that means also that higher interest rates and inflation, that hits the consumers in Sweden. And in addition to that, then you are cautious with taking on new consumptions, you are cautious with taking on new loans. So actually what we will need to see is interest rates not only stabilizing but coming down in order to see the volumes coming back into the market again. So Sweden for us is very much connected to the financial sector, and it's very much connected to the circumstances of the Swedish lending market. But then of course in addition we should remember that we have had the highest amount of bankruptcies in Sweden for decades. But that goes for Finland too. So it was a tough year for very many small and medium-sized companies in 23.
So if looking at the profit, the adjusted profit levels were okay, given the volumes are coming down a lot, but the reported figures were quite a bit lower due to high restructuring charges. So what was behind this in Q4, and what type of one-off item level should we expect for 2024?
These costs were very much connected to what we are driving to drive efficiency. So those were very much connected to our IT efficiency initiatives.
All right. We saw at the end of 2023 in Finland and in Sweden, the real estate market was kind of picking up again. So how did you see this and how do you see it at the moment? Is the real estate market going back up again?
Yeah, well, I would say it's a little bit too early to say anything about stability. I think that it is wise to be cautious right now about when we can see volumes coming in from the traditional real estate markets as such, so that we see that that we are making taking on new loans in connection to that. Though at the same time, we have a good traction in Enento on the real estate area, and that is connected partly due to that we have developed new reports based on changes in the financial real estate market, but also that we have developed new climate reports, as we call it. That has been done so far in Sweden, but we are planning to take that to Finland as well. Climate reports connected to real estate, connected to geography, and those have shown very great interest among customers.
Regarding your efficiency program, you commented that you have reached 6.3 million run rate effects, and now you extended it to 10 million euros, the whole program. So I imagine the low-hanging fruits have already been picked up. So what does the rest of the savings consist of?
Yes, and we will continue on the IT efficiency. We have taken the decision to go for a consolidation of our IT infrastructure. We have chosen the vendor, which is TCS, so we continue our collaboration, as we have already earlier chosen them to work with delivery of development and also maintenance. And that is something we are starting to go into making now in 24. That will then give us further efficiencies from 25 and forward. So we will see more of IT, and the rest we also need to give more thought on planning too, before we can come back on any more information on that side.
In your webcast, you also talked about the Nordic business transformation and where you're taking a little bit more slower pace. So could you give us an update on that as well?
We are saying that we want to prioritize areas where we can get further efficiencies faster, like areas of how we drive and how we drive our IT, to put it shortly. I don't think we need to go into details. We have talked about infrastructure and how we do development and how we do maintenance. And those are also, of course, connected to costs. We want to focus to what gives us revenue and efficiency euros back faster. So the second area of focus is then to continue to have a faster pace into the areas where we believe we see the growth. And that is connected to our updated strategy from summer in 2023. So areas like, of course, compliance, which we also see a very good growth. So we have traction in the area already. But we also see that there is momentum here to be taken. And of course, as we are also having areas which are challenged by that there is low visibility, we find it to be wise to say that we make sure that we use our euro now to return them to new euros in what is a faster pace.
If thinking about product development and new services, so what would you say are the main areas you are focusing on this year?
It is connected to what we have earlier shared on our strategy update. So it is a compliance area. It is the real estate area. We are very much looking into how we can continue with the master data, which also, it's not only data, it's also including how you distribute the data. Then, of course, fraud is very much on the agenda, which we might also see when reading the media, that's an issue. So fraud and fraud prevention is an area where we see. And then, of course, real-time data is always something we will need to continue to see what we can even improve further in our, I would say, how we drive data combination intelligence. So PSD2 is an example then, or real time. So that was many examples.
Then talking about the guidance and market outlook, you didn't give a guidance this year, which was obviously a little bit disappointing for the investors and analysts. So why was this, and does it tell that your view of the market is not very good at this moment, or why not even a broad guidance?
Yeah. We call it low visibility. We have low visibility of the market right now. We stay with our long-term financial plan, and we stay committed to our long-term financial plan, and that is important to start with and to state. Then, in addition, we did see changes in the last quarter, as we have already talked about. And at the moment, with the low visibility, we want to be cautious. So we will come back when we have better visibility. It is mostly connected to macro Sweden, and of course, the consumer credit information Sweden.
I imagine the market outlook baseline is still that the market outlook is difficult for H1, but then in H2 it should get somewhat better.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your answers, and I hope you all the best for the rest of the year.
Thank you.